It would be arrogant to presume any position is wrong. Challenge! Speech penalty.
Nonsense!
Hold it right there, old friend. I still can't buy your argument. You claim that it is impossible to say that someone else's values are wrong, but that's simply not true. Oh, come now, friend. Not impossible, arrogant. Do you really believe we have the right to say that... Okay, I'd like to put for a different example. They're so rude. They just keep interrupting each other. You yourself said that there are individuals who believe that those who speak out should be executed, did you not? Of course. Well, I was thinking about the position of these individuals, and it occurred to me, without free and open debate, we wouldn't even be able to discuss the things we are here. Oh, excellent observation, Socrates. Thank you, Arbiter. Protagoras, for just a moment, consider the consequences of that argument. If free speech were punished so, society would stagnate, science and thought would come to a halt. Such side effects should not result from logical thinking. I'm not sure that stands up. I mean, you're assuming that logic leads to positive results, but nothing we've done has proved that yet. It could well be possible that logic could be self-destructive. You don't know that. Like, you haven't proved that. Alright, we're gonna slap him in the face as well. Free speech is one of many things now considered to be rights. Yes, society is improved by their existence. Can you really argue that those who believe such things should be prosecuted have validation? Yeah. I hardly think it arrogant to express doubt in this position. No, we're gonna keep talking. Dad, this is actually kind of impressive. Indeed, well constructed, Socrates. The fact is, while you can argue that most things are based upon the individual, your philosophy falls apart when dealing with the extremes. Such positions are indefensible regardless of what an individual thinks. And thus morality cannot be entirely determined by the individual. That's true. It's determined between individuals. Yeah.
Nonsense!
I appreciate the energy, old friend, but you have raised some good points. I must confess, though, I am a little confused as to why you have suddenly changed your position on free speech. Wait, what? The original Socrates was anti-free speech, Dad. If I remember right, Socrates was saying that if all the stupid people in the world were given equal rights to speech, then the smart people will get drowned out by the stupid people, and bad ideas will reign supreme, which is a bad thing. Which is true. I mean, that is one of the problems with democracy right now, because I mean, in a democracy, everybody gets to contribute to making the decisions about who gets to, govern a country. But most people are average. Some people are stupid. So it's not entirely clear that a democracy is able to guarantee that the best decision will be made at all times. In fact, it doesn't. It only guarantees that people will, the majority of the people would agree with the decision that's being made. It doesn't actually agree that the best decision will be made at any given point in time. So democracy is somewhat problematic, although most other systems of government are also problematic, so I mean, we don't really know what to do about it. Though, come to think of it, that didn't stop him from complaining when he was put to death for blasphemy. He was. Everyone makes mistakes. Oh, regardless, my counter-argument is solid, right? No, not quite. You raised some good points, but not perfect points. Give me a moment, I will show you the flaws in what you just proposed. It is true, my friend, that most people agree on things such as free speech. Except, I'm not sure we do. A lot of people agree on free speech for themselves, but they are quite happy to complain when other people use their free speech. That happens a lot, it seems. However, it does not mean that such things are universal goods. For example, if one was to yell fire in a crowded theatre, causing mayhem and panic, it is hard to see how that instance of speech would be would then be good. As morality is affected by situation, it cannot be objective. And there you have it. Wait a minute. His argument is drifting quite a bit. Rights as a legal institution may be good, but the morality of how you use them can vary. Very interesting points. Very well, Socrates. You may now ask Protagoras your questions. Of course. His argument is drifting a lot. Alright, Creon thinks this is free speech, and that's good enough. Does not mean that such things are universal goods. Ask for clarification. What do you mean by that? Simply put, nothing is absolute. When we think something is a universal truth, we are probably failing to account for all possibilities. Back that up. Be patient, alright, that's the next part. Something is affecting universal goods. For example, if one was to yell fire in a crowded theatre, causing mayhem and panic. But what if there was a fire? Ask for clarification. Yelling things to deliberately cause panic hardly seems an unquestionable good, does it? What if the theatre is filled with bad people? That's all I'm trying to. That's all I'm trying to say here. Press for backing. I really don't see what's wrong with yelling fire. What fire? We're all gonna die. Cool. Gentlemen, worry not, there is no fire. Socrates, refrain from causing unnecessary panic in the future. Okay. Yes. You should always have the right to speak carelessly, but that does not mean doing so is good. As morality is affected by a situation, it cannot be objective. Ask for clarification. What do you mean by that? I think my statement's pretty clear. No, it's not. Your statement simply does not hold water. Morality still comes from the individual. Is that what he's saying? Morality is affected by situation. It cannot be objective. Yeah, it can. Yeah, it can. I mean, the same principles applied to different situations will result in different conclusions. But the principles are the same. That makes no sense. Principle backing. Can you back that up? I believe I just did. No, you didn't. Relevance? How is it related to conclusion? That's my conclusion, is it? I mean, if I remember correctly, your philosophy is that morality comes from the individual, right? Yes, that's correct. I see. Protagoras! You have indeed raised an interesting counterpoint to mine. Thank you, old friend. Does that mean you're ready to accept the validity of my teachings? No. On the contrary, you see, you've also demonstrated why it would be foolish to do so. You just argued that morality can be affected by situation, correct? Yes. That actions that would be correct in one place would be incorrect in another. Indeed, where are you going with this? Well, it's an interesting observation, but it runs against the grain of what you said earlier. For if morality is affected by situation, then there are clearly factors other than the individual that affect it. Oh wow, that's right. I don't believe it. It seems to me you have two choices, but both have the same result. You could either maintain the assertion that morality is situation dependent and your philosophy is undermined, or you could retract it, thus giving credibility to my original complaint. But either way, the idea that morality is entirely individual is thrown into question. Yeah, so basically Protagoras has kind of out-debated himself, because, I mean, he's trying to eliminate all sources of morality and then to be left with the individual as the only possible source of morality. But then he managed to talk his way into saying that the situation can determine morality, because the same actions or the same people with the same beliefs in a different situation can result in a different, value for morality. So he's managed to, introduce a possibility other than the individual as a source for morality. What do you have to say to that? ... Ah, Socrates, your rhetorical techniques have not doubted in all these years. Perhaps my position is indeed on shakier ground than I realized. Yes, it is. You can't eliminate. You can't eliminate infinite possibilities. You've given me much to consider. I could write a thesis on it all. You do that, bro. And you too, Protagoras. You just may have been onto something with your idea that the correct action can change based on situation. Finding out why it does, that's going to be the hard part. Protagoras, you are dismissed. Thank you for your input. Thank you, Arbiter. Socrates, I believe you have it in you to win this great wager. Just as you did before. Wait, what? Goodbye, my old friend. Dun dun dun! Before? What did he mean by as you did before? I thought you had figured it out by now. What? Taking on the Arbiter's challenge is no easy task. In fact, throughout all of time, only one has ever had his wish granted. Only one? Yes, your namesake. The great thinker Socrates, the wisest man in Athens. Unlike the other philosophers, Socrates was never sure of his ideas. He was always questioning, always challenging himself and others in the pursuit of truth. Never satisfied with any of the answers that were provided until he disappeared. Again, there's certain value judgments behind this game and behind this story, and I don't know if you're picking it up. And to an extent, I agree with them, so I'm not going to complain too much. But I think, if we're gonna take this seriously, you have to pay attention to this stuff. I mean, he's describing Socrates as someone who's never sure of himself, who's always questioning and always looking for answers, and that this is what made Socrates the greatest philosopher out of the lot. But there's a certain value judgment embedded in that story, that in order to be a good thinker, you have to keep questioning even yourself. Like you can never be sure of yourself in order to in the pursuit of truth. But that's Socrates. I mean, that's Socrates. That's how he was. And the game is saying that this is the correct way to do philosophy. But not everybody might agree with that. I mean, some people, in fact, a lot of people, I think, are uncomfortable with uncertainty. A lot of people are uncomfortable to say that they don't know something. I don't know a lot. I don't know how many people are, but it seems that I've met people who are uncomfortable with being uncertain. They don't like to appear to be uncertain, and so they fear uncertainty and things like that. When this game is saying that that's the best way to be, because that's what you need to do to find the truth. So the game is telling you that. Whether or not it's actually true, I mean, you can think about yourself, I guess. Disappeared? Yes, without a trace. Simply vanished into the ether, never to be seen again. What happened to him? Was his wish to leave? No one is quite sure. The last person to see Socrates on this plane was René Descartes. D-S-C-A-R-T-S. Help IPA for French. Oh, crap. Descartes? Oh, Descartes. D E A day, yeah, they car the car no, yeah, the car upside down R, roughly like lock, but much softer, more guttural. The call, the T. I thought the T was silent. Stein. No, this is not silent. Descartes. René Descartes. I can't do French. Sorry, guys. And according to Descartes, the only thing Socrates said was, "I found it," which is eureka in Greek. he found it. The answer. Wow. That's my namesake. I really hope I'm not expected to live up to that. And that's the end of that chapter. So the idea that... I mean, I partially agree. The idea that morality comes from the individual. But there's more to morality than that, because the very point of morality is that it governs interactions between people. And given that individuals disagree with each other, it can't be that whatever a person believes is right for him, because, you know, those disagreements still need to be resolved. Like, you know, if I believe that this pizza is worth $10 and you believe that the pizza is worth $8, and we disagree, I mean, how do we, you know, we can't both be right at the same time. So somehow, you know, we need to resolve that. So, but also the last segment also introduced the idea that morality might depend on the circumstances. So maybe if there's only one pizza between the two of us, it might be more expensive. But if there were like 10 pizza between the two of us, it doesn't really matter how much it costs. We're both gonna get the pizza anyway. So yes, more complications. Chapter 3, the social contract. That's coming up next. In the meantime, I'm gonna take a break. See you guys in the next video.